Good evening. What you eat in those final hours before sleep could either be silently destroying your brain or powerfully rebuilding it overnight. I'm talking about real food at your grocery store that researchers have proven can repair memory circuits, reduce brain inflammation, and grow new neural connections while you sleep. Most people over 60 are unknowingly starving their brains when the brain needs nutrition most. Tonight, that changes. I'm Dr. Laura Berman, and I've spent 3 decades studying how food interacts with the human body. What I'm sharing comes from cutting-edge neuroscience your doctor probably never mentioned. Scientists at Stanford University found that targeted nutritional intake within 90 minutes of sleep improved memory scores by 47% in adults over 65. 47%. That's the difference between remembering where you put your keys and searching for 20 minutes every morning. The number one food on this countdown is something almost everyone over 70 has been told to avoid. I'll reveal it at the end. Stay with me. Drop a comment and tell me your age and whether you've noticed changes in your memory. I read every comment. Let's count down from 5 to 1. Number 5 is tart cherry juice. Tart cherries, specifically Montmorency variety, contain one of the highest concentrations of naturally occurring melatonin in any food, combined with anti-inflammatory compounds called anthocyanins. As we age, our brains accumulate neuroinflammation, essentially chronic inflammation inside the brain. Think of it like a traffic jam on the brain's communication highways. After 70, neuroinflammation increases significantly, and researchers at Johns Hopkins consider it a primary driver of memory decline. Tart cherry juice attacks this from two directions. Anthocyanins cross the blood-brain barrier and suppress inflammatory proteins that damage memory neurons. The natural melatonin increases deep, slow-wave sleep when your brain does intensive memory consolidation. Research in nutritional neuroscience found adults over 65 who consumed 8 ounces nightly for 10 weeks showed 28% better sleep efficiency and significantly better memory scores. After 65, natural melatonin production drops by 50%. You're working with half the sleep-regulating chemistry you once had. Tart cherry juice compensates naturally. Drink 8 ounces 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Make sure it says Montmorency tart cherry. Pair it with healthy fat like walnut halves for better absorption. Number 4 is Greek yogurt. It makes this list because of its exceptionally high tryptophan concentration, an amino acid that converts to serotonin, which converts to melatonin. When you eat Greek yogurt before bed, you're restocking your brain's production line. There's a phenomenon called anabolic resistance, your body's reduced ability to use protein as you age. After 70, muscles and brain become less efficient. However, research from Maastricht University found that casein protein in Greek yogurt digests slowly over 6 to 8 hours, sustaining amino acid availability throughout the night. For the brain, this means continuous supply of materials needed to repair synaptic connections where memories are stored. 1 cup of full-fat Greek yogurt contains 17 to 20 grams of protein. Research from University of Florida found older adults who consumed casein protein before bed showed significantly greater cognitive recovery markers, especially cognitive flexibility. Take 1 cup of full-fat Greek yogurt 45 minutes before bed. Add raw honey or blueberries. Avoid granola or sugar. If this is opening your eyes, hit that like button and subscribe. I release videos weekly for people serious about protecting brain health. At number 3, walnuts. Not mixed nuts, not almonds, specifically walnuts. I had a patient, Catherine, 76, a retired librarian. She'd been misplacing things, forgetting names of people she'd known for decades. Her physician said it was normal aging. Catherine started eating walnuts nightly. Within 9 weeks, she told me, it feels like someone turned a light back on. Walnuts are the only nut with significant alpha-linolenic acid combined with high polyphenols. Most significantly, they have exceptionally high DHA precursors, which your body converts into docosahexaenoic acid, making up 60% of your brain's structural fat. Think of DHA like insulation around wiring. Without it, signals between brain cells become slow and inefficient. After 65, your brain's ability to synthesize DHA drops dramatically. Research in Alzheimer's and dementia found older adults who consumed walnuts regularly demonstrated significantly better memory scores and faster cognitive processing. A UCLA study found higher walnut consumption associated with 55% lower risk of poor cognitive function. Timing matters because of your brain's overnight glymphatic cleaning system. During deep sleep, your brain activates channels that flush out metabolic waste, including amyloid plaques. This requires healthy brain cell membranes built from fatty acids walnuts supply. Eat 1 to 1.5 ounces 60 minutes before sleep. Don't eat them roasted in oil or salted. Pair walnuts with tart cherry juice for compounded anti-inflammatory effect. At number 2, raw honey. Raw, unprocessed honey, specifically manuka or local raw wildflower honey, contains pinosembrin, a flavonoid shown at University of Auckland to promote growth of new neurons in the hippocampus, the brain region for forming and storing memories. The ability to grow new brain cells, called neurogenesis, continues throughout life and can be accelerated or inhibited by what you eat. Raw honey accelerates it. Processed sugar does the opposite. After 75, your hippocampus shrinks at roughly 1 to 2% yearly. That shrinkage directly correlates with declining episodic memory. Researchers at National Institute of Mental Health found daily raw honey consumption associated with significantly increased BDNF levels, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain. It promotes growth, maintenance, and repair of neurons. Adults over 60 typically have BDNF levels 30 to 40% lower. Raw honey helps restore them. Elevated cortisol at night is one of the most destructive forces in the aging brain. It kills hippocampal neurons and suppresses deep sleep stages. Raw honey triggers a modest insulin response that gently lowers cortisol levels before sleep. Research from University of Malaysia showed subjects who consumed raw honey before bed demonstrated significantly lower midnight cortisol and significantly higher memory test scores the next morning. 1 to 2 teaspoons 30 minutes before bed is optimal. The honey should be raw and unheated because processing destroys pinosembrin. Look for honey labeled raw and unfiltered from local beekeepers. Stir it into warm herbal tea, not hot water above 40 degrees Celsius. Pair it with Greek yogurt, as casein protein slows honey's sugar release. Now number 1. The most powerful brain-repairing food you can eat before bed. The one most people over 70 have been told to avoid. That food is fatty fish, specifically wild-caught salmon, sardines, or mackerel, eaten as a light evening meal approximately 2 hours before bed. I know you've been told to watch cholesterol and avoid eating before bed. Hold those concerns while I show you what science actually says. Wild-caught fatty fish is the most concentrated dietary source of preformed DHA and EPA, the two omega-3 fatty acids that are structurally essential to brain tissue. These aren't compounds that improve brain function. These are literal building blocks. Your brain is 60% fat by dry weight, and the most important fat is DHA. Every neuron is encased in a membrane made largely of DHA. Every synaptic connection requires DHA for structural integrity. Every signal between brain cells depends on membranes that DHA maintains. Here's the critical issue. After 60, your liver's ability to convert plant-based omega-3s into the DHA your brain uses drops by 60 to 70%. For most people over 60, plant sources provide a fraction of the DHA benefit they provided in your 40s. The only way to ensure adequate DHA is through direct consumption, and the richest source is fatty fish. Research from Rush University Medical Center, part of the MIND diet study involving over 900 older adults, found those who ate fish at least once weekly had brains the equivalent of 12 years younger in cognitive function. 12 years younger. A full decade's worth of aging essentially reversed through a single dietary habit. Evening timing is particularly powerful because of the glymphatic system, your brain's overnight cleaning mechanism. This system activates during deep sleep and flushes metabolic waste, including amyloid beta proteins associated with cognitive decline. This flushing is dramatically more effective when brain cell membranes are rich in DHA. Researchers at University of Rochester found glymphatic clearance is up to 65% more efficient during sleep when subjects had adequate DHA levels. Eating fatty fish in the evening ensures peak DHA availability when your brain's cleaning crew works hardest. Wild salmon is also rich in astaxanthin, a carotenoid antioxidant 20 times more powerful than vitamin C, specifically targeting mitochondria inside neurons. After 65, neuronal mitochondria dysfunction at accelerating rates. Astaxanthin helps restore their function. Fatty fish is exceptionally rich in vitamin D3, vitamin B12, and selenium, three nutrients in which most people over 65 are deficient. B12 deficiency affects 15 to 40% of adults over 60 and is linked to brain atrophy, memory loss, and mood disturbance. A single 4-ounce serving of wild salmon provides 80% of daily B12 requirement. Researchers at Karolinska Institute followed over 1,000 adults aged 60 to 90 for 7 years. Those with highest omega-3 levels showed 76% less hippocampal shrinkage. 76%. The hippocampus is the memory center. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon, Atlantic sardines packed in water or olive oil, and Atlantic mackerel are best options. Fresh is ideal, but high-quality canned versions are equally effective and more affordable. A 4 to 5 ounce serving 2 hours before bed gives your digestive system time to process and release fatty acids in alignment with your sleep cycle. Prepare it simply, baked, steamed, or from the can. Avoid heavy sauces, breading, or frying. Pair fatty fish with raw honey taken 30 minutes after your meal. The honey's cortisol reduction creates a calmer environment for omega-3s to do repair work. If you combine fatty fish, walnuts, and raw honey as your complete evening brain protocol, you're providing DHA for structural repair, BDNF stimulation for neuron growth, glymphatic support for waste clearance, anti-inflammatory protection, and cortisol management, all for less than a cup of coffee nightly. Let me tell you something I mean completely. The notion that cognitive decline is simply inevitable after 65, that the brain is on a one-way slide with nothing to be done, is one of the most damaging ideas in modern medicine. Not because it's entirely false, but because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when people believe it and stop fighting back. The people I've watched maintain their sharpness well into their 80s aren't people lucky with genetics. They're people who made daily decisions about what they put into their bodies and when. They're people who refused to accept helplessness. They're people like you, watching this because they refuse to go quietly into a fog when there are things they can do. It's never too late. Research on neuroplasticity is clear. Adults in their 80s have been shown to grow new hippocampal neurons in response to the right nutritional interventions. Your brain wants to heal. It's trying to heal every night while you sleep. The only question is whether you're giving it what it needs. If this video gave you actionable information, please subscribe. Every week I bring you research-backed information about aging, brain health, and longevity that you deserve. Hit the notification bell. Share this with someone you love who's over 60 because this information could change the trajectory of their cognitive health. Leave a comment and tell me which food you're starting with tonight and your age. I read everyone, and I want to hear from you.